This is Swen Vincke. He's the CEO and founder of Larian Studios, the creators of Baldur's Gate 3, and just a very pro-consumer company. And this is a crowd of capitalistic, money-hungry, greedy-ass motherfuckers. At the Game Awards 2024 that just happened, he bluntly criticized all of them in the whole kind of evil gaming industry practices right in front of their face. And they just cheered at him.
They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit.
Those stupid, clueless little dummies. I just want to go through a little bit on how ironic and silly this whole thing is. Let's look at Larian Studios. Larian Studios is very pro-consumer. They just they care about the player, and that's kind of the first thing before the. Of course, they need to make a profit to keep making games, but that's not the first thing on their mind. Let me just explain. For the past year, Baldur's Gate 3 has not had any other transactional thing a part of the game. There's no skins, there's not even a deal. They said they don't want to make a DLC because it's not in their heart. The next update, a year after the game came out, we're getting 12 subclasses, which almost doubles the amount of subclasses, changes the whole way you can play the game. We got extra endings, we're getting crossplay, we're getting photo mode over a year after. And these things are not things that needed to make the game. It's not a Cyberpunk situation where the game was not made fully fixed and then they had to add these. These are extra content that the game won Game of the Year without these. It won Game of the Year in incredible ratings without these things. Now let's look at some of the people in the crowd. I really want to dive into those people in the crowd and just show you how kind of silly this whole thing is. To do that, to know I don't know the faces of these people, but we do know some of the people that were there for sure because of the Game Award winners and nominees. For example, the best sports and racing game was EA Sports FC 25. Whoa, so we know EA was there. Let's just start with EA. EA has a whole Wikipedia page about all their criticisms and practices. In 2013 and 2014, they won worst company to work for. So everyone who's thinking, man, EA sucks for the players, it's not just for the players. They suck for the workers too. How can you do both? I don't know. They're very criticized on their extreme loot boxes that they had with Star Wars Battlefront and various other games. I mean, look at The Sims 4. Went free to play, but over $1,000 of expansion packs. This is something that other companies, look at Stardew Valley, look at Baldur's Gate 3, would have put for free as an update to the game because the player paid for it. When Baldur's Gate 3 added mods, they increased their player count on Steam substantially. It does make them money. It just doesn't make them as much profit. Maybe they have to put a little bit more work and lose a couple little % more profit. But their reputation is crazy. Everyone likes them.
If you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow.
I'm glad for everyone who has a fun time playing these games. But for the most part, EA is EA. We know Fallout was there. Why? Because Todd Howard literally shows up. They won Best Adaptation, which I talk about. Great show. I love the show. I'm glad it happened. However, Microsoft have just been under scrutiny for all these layoffs, for closing studios that have made some of the best games. Microsoft was there watching. We know Activision was there. Black Ops 6 was nominated for something, best multiplayer game or best action game or there was some stuff. Look at the whole Overwatch 2 situation. Promised single player experience. Didn't happen. They just took out Overwatch 1, put Overwatch 2 free to play, messed up the whole loot box situation. It was a clear thing. They said we're going to take out 6v6 for 5v5 and that's our change. No, it was a change to go to the free to play method. The ones that something like Team Fortress and Fortnite have showed how valuable that is. Overwatch 1 was made. They didn't make any significant improvements. So no, I can't defend that. If Overwatch 1 came out free to play, I wouldn't be mad. Marvel Rivals is free to play, live service game. I'm not mad. That's how they started. That is their promise. Their battle passes, you can complete whenever. You get skins. It's not pay to win. We're okay. I'm okay with that. Bing, boom, bow. Another company that we know was there was Ubisoft. Ubisoft won for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Ooh, let's get into Ubisoft. It's just so sad because something like Ubisoft, one of the first games I ever played was Assassin's Creed 2. It was just such a good game. It sucks kind of seeing where it went, where these games have kind of they release games that are just not good, that are not finished. Ubisoft has gone under major scrutiny for being a AAA, quadruple A game that has just, or game studio that has just completely, all their games are mid. And I don't mean to say all this to hate on people that like these games. If you like EA, if you like Ubisoft, if you like the current Bethesda situation, if you love Starfield, good for you. I mean, have fun with the games. If you paid for them or having fun, then that's all that really matters in the end. I just think we need to start looking at the pro-consumer or anti-consumer companies and try to see who we're going to support. Because it's just not fair. These companies are just sitting there watching as Swen talks about them and just completely obliterates them because it's true, and they smile and they laugh and they cheer. No, we need more companies that care about the players. We need more companies that hopefully, please God, are private companies, stuff like Valve, stuff like Larian, companies that are not going to be consumed by the shareholders. Cough cough, CD Projekt Red. Even though I still believe in them, they're a public company. If the shareholders say to do something, they are legally binded to have to do certain things. I mean, how, you know, that's life. But it turns out, when we look at Stardew Valley, when we look at Baldur's Gate, and I'm sure there's other examples that can't come to my mind, sorry about that, but if you care about the consumer and your product is decent, of course there's probably some luck to make it successful as well. You can make money. Something tells me, in the end of the day, especially seeing that Ubisoft, rumors are, is trying to sell, perhaps they are more profitable, because in the end of the day they keep their reputation. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Please, companies and players, just care about the consumer. Just support the people that want to support you.
They cared about their game because they loved games. It's really that simple.